Yes, this is Young Nobles of Adonai Global Evangelical Church, and we are super excited about today. So, a quick one before we start. We are going to do a very good recap. So, we'll share what we have learned from the previous session and what our expectations are for this very session. I already said that I know we have expectations, right? So, we want to know what your expectations are even for this session. But before that, you share what you have learned from the previous one. And when I come to you, I said you mention your name and then you do your submission. Thank you. And brother, I'll start with you.
I'm Christian, but I wasn't here the last week.
So our brother Christian wasn't here for the last session, but did you go to our YouTube channel to watch? No, you have not been there. Okay, so we'll go to the next person. I'm sure by the time we are done, you have learned something which will go on to this. So then I'll come to you, Seth.
Thank you very much. My name is Seth. I wasn't here last week as well, and I didn't know you have a YouTube channel.
Our brother was also not here. Wow, interesting. Then, wait. Interesting. Okay, our speaker is in. Daddy, you are welcome. So, I think it's left with one person. I'll come to you. Joshua, you want to share what you have learned? I think you should share. It's good.
So my name is Joshua. I joined last week's session a bit late, but I think one thing I learned from what our father taught us was that we should know our environment. So whatever pertains to our environment, what is done to progress, even though we have to progress, we have to do it the right way.
Okay.
Yeah, and knowing your environment. One of our brothers asked a question that is still in my mind. He said, in Ghana, do you pursue a certification or like a higher degree or master's or PhD?
Okay.
Which said, you have to know where you are. If in Ghana, that is a certification that send you forward. Go with certification.
All right. Thank you very much, brother Joshua. So I made a very short note, and I'll just read out what I have on my list, what Daddy shared. The first one was he actually defined some terms, the terms in the topic that we look at the subject, but I will not give definitions to the terms. I will just briefly say the challenges that he pointed out. One of them is qualifications. So we talk about qualification. What qualification do you have? And he says that this is extremely very important to us making progress in our career. So you need to know the qualification that you need to advance. You are talking about getting to the peak. You don't just want to start as an accountant and remain as an accountant. You want to make progress and become the best of the best. So that when they are looking for accountants, we can point out to you from anywhere in the world. So if you want to take a position as an accountant who can be referred to around the globe, what qualifications do you have to pursue? Is it ICA? If you do ICA, you only be known in Ghana. But the vision is to be known across the globe, right? So now you find out what other qualifications do I need to add to my qualification as a chartered accountant in Ghana in order to recognize across the globe. Which one of them will be ACCA? Thank you. The second thing is he talked about our finances, and he gave two scenarios. So this thing can be a challenge to us making progress. If you are already making a lot of money at where you are, chances are that you are likely to say, I'm making enough, so I don't want to make progress. They just employ me as an accountant, a junior accountant. They are paying me 12,000 Ghana cedi every month, and I'm not even married. I'm a young man. I'm enjoying my life. So chances are that because they are paying you enough, you think like, oh, Charlie, it's okay. I don't need to stress myself reading books again. But what is your goal? And also he talked about the other scenario. That one is not enough. What you are getting paid is not enough. So what are the things you need to do to make progress? He also talked about organizational structure. So the structure of organizations, you need to know how the organization, the structures that we have in place in order for you to know what to do in order to make progress. I'm just summarizing what I have in my notes. And the next one is, so you say observe the structure of your organization. Check to see where there's an opportunity for advancement. So if you identify that this is our organizational structure and there's going to be opportunity here, you have to identify it and prepare yourself. Do the necessary dues. If you have to take a course, you need to take it in order to prepare you for that opportunity, right? The next thing I have is experience or expertise. So I think we talked a lot on this very one, and a lot of questions came up. Is it about experience or is it about expertise? I don't know. Those of us who are not here, I will encourage you to go to Dominate Your World TV and watch the full session of the first session. You will get more detailed information on this very one. In order not to take much time, I'll end it here and then I'll invite our daddy to continue. Those of us who don't know him, he's the one engineering the whole project, the big chapel that we are seeing. Everything is on his shoulder. And we are privileged and blessed to have him as our coordinator. Pastor has ordained him our coordinator. Yes, Daddy, you are very welcome. We are so blessed to have you today. Thank you very much.
Good morning, all. You are most welcome to today's meeting. It's going to be a discussion as usual. I'll do some short something and then we go to questions. Okay? When we have questions, then we have a lot to discuss. It's been excellent. Our brother has summarized everything. He so well remembered or jotted everything down. And our brother who was contributing before I came, so marvelous. So marvelous. I'm so happy. It means we were attentive and then we got some message. Hallelujah. It is about our improvement. It is about improvement. We are not just spiritual, we are physical. So definitely, so long as we live in this world, we will have to find means and ways of advancing our cause. We are not spiritual beings. We are both spiritual and physical. We need to eat, we need shelter, we need whatever it is, clothing. And so there are immediate needs we can't do without, even if we are going to heaven tomorrow. And so that is why there is so much competition in the world. Nobody, I think we are not competing to go to heaven, but we are competing to live, to have breakfast, to have food on our table. And if we falter, then it becomes a problem. As Ghana seems to be faltering in these times, and we are all suffering. So we need to learn how to make progress in life. Hallelujah. Yes, so I thought I could recap, but he has done it so marvelously. Let me see by hand, those who were not here last time. You were not here. Oh, I have a new set of points. Yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting. Then you missed something, but he has recapped everything. All we look at briefly is advancing through challenging career barriers. That gives us the idea that there are barriers to careers. There are barriers to careers. And So we need to know those barriers and how to surmount them, how to move forward when we encounter them. And so that's what he has done now. So we look at what career is, what career development is, what factors are influencing career development. We look at barriers to career development, and then guidelines for career advancement. So those were the things, key things we looked at the last time we met. And so you are most welcome. So today, that was the first part 1. Then as let me add to a little bit what he said about organizational structure. Yes, that was it. But in addition, we said that if you are seeking employment in an organization, then look at the structure very carefully. If there are opportunities for advancement, there are organizations where you will not be able to advance because of the very nature of their structure. You go in, let's say, as an accountant, and you remain as an accountant. There is no way you're going to advance as a senior accountant, principal accountant, chief accountant, with all the experiences which go with these positions. You see, you are an accountant of the firm. That is great. So you remain accountant. But there is no advancement. There is no way you're going to progress. So you look carefully at the organizational structure. The organization may not be making money now, may not look attractive, but when you sense that, when you realize that they have very good structure and there's room for improvement, you can sign to that organization so that you advance your cause. So we need to know this. So don't just be looking for employment, but look for opportunities which can help your career to advance. Let us remember that at the end of the day, when you are taking good salary, as he said, you are likely to say that, oh, I'm okay. But remember that the day coming when maybe you may go on retirement. If you go on retirement, you have the opportunity to do anything for yourself as a professional. Or you leave office and you just go and sleep at home. If you leave office and go and sleep at home, it meant that you didn't develop yourself well, because there are opportunities all over the place. If you develop yourself well, even in your retirement, you still have something to do. People will be knocking at your door, you see, looking for you, because you have something to give up. But if you just decide that, I'm in this establishment, organization, I'm taking a good salary, and then you sleep, then when you go on retirement, then you don't have anything going. Nobody is going to invite you. You are not invited. You don't have what it takes for people to invite you, for people to give you contract or jobs. You cannot deliver. You were working in an office, and that's all. Satisfy the requirement of the office, but not equipping yourself with knowledge and expertise. So these things are very, very common. People go on retirement, they're still active, they're still busy. Sometimes even busier than before. But others, when they go on retirement, they go, there's nothing to do any longer. And so let's be mindful of these things so that we don't sleep over our way. Hallelujah. Good. I said that when it's a church situation, we always say hallelujah. But when you go out there and you make corporate bodies, you don't say hallelujah. Hallelujah. Good. So, and our brother also talked about the financial issues. You are taking good money, and so, you, the financial manager, financial director of that firm, what do you need? You are taking good salary, so you sleep. So, it is called golden handcuff. So, the money has handcuffed you. The salary you are taking, or you are taking at your current position, has really handcuffed you. And then you are not making any attempt to improve yourself. But, days of adversity can come. see, that company can go downstream, and then you may have to look for another job. You see, anything is possible in this world. Nothing is fixed. So your company, which is experiencing growth, making a lot of money, paying good salary, something can happen, and then it will go down, and then you want to opt out. But if you want to go out, you have what it takes for you to get a good job, another good job. So that is why you have to look at these things, so that you don't sleep when you are working. You know, remember that the days of adversity. So just trying to touch on what my brother said, and he talked about experience and expertise. So experience is that which you gain, practical, ability that you gain, working on something for a long period. So you gain experience in doing it, and you could do it well. That is great. But what's better than that is expertise. Expertise gives you the broader knowledge. You have broad base. You know so much about that area. And so you can do a lot within that area. For example, you have a carpenter who has specialized only maybe, let's say, fixing doors, making doors and fixing doors. That's his expertise. He has gained experience in that. And so, but when it comes to other carpentry works, you will be found wanting. But you, who is an expert, who has gained expertise by way of knowledge, you see, and understanding. So you have knowledge, then you have understanding, then you have the skill. So it makes you an expert in your area. And so even when there is a change, you will be able to solve the problem. I gave an example of a steel bender who is so experienced. You know, you will give him your house, and then he will do the steel bending for you. You don't have to, let's see, no, if you have to, let's say 2 stories or 3 stories. But as the stories increase, he has no idea of what it will take for you to go to 10 floors, or 20 floors, or even 5 floors. Or as the spans, like these columns, the pillars, for ordinary people, the pillars. When the pillars, the spacing becomes wider, now let's say they have experience in dealing with the standard spacing of pillars for, let's say, ordinary houses, which is normally around 3 meters, 10 feet, thereabout. But when they encounter a building where the spacing is, let's say, 6 meters, or 10 meters, 33 feet, 40 feet, from one pillar to another, or from technical service column, from one column to the other, how are they going to do the reinforcement? How are they going to lay the bar so that everything does not crumble down? They don't have that. But the structural engineer, who has the knowledge, who has the understanding, and then the skill, the structural engineer knows that even if it's 33 feet or 40 feet, this is what it will take. And he will design. The steel bender will be found wanting in this particular situation. So your experience limits you to what you have been doing over and over. But when you have expertise, it means that you have the knowledge surrounding the thing first, and then you have the understanding, and then you add the skill to it. Then you become an expert, and everybody wants to have you. Hallelujah. So let me just move quickly to what we discussed in the part 2. The part 2 is about how we can have competitive edge over our competitors, and then how we can stay relevant, how you can maintain your position, at work, and then the biblical principles for career success. So this is what we want to look at today. So I will do it briefly so that we can take questions that we have discussed. Now,
to have a competitive edge over your competitors means a lot. It means a lot. In any field that we are operating, we should understand that there are others who are doing the same, who have the same training, who have the same training, who are doing the same type of work, and so who are into the same business. Let me open it a little bigger, or maybe there are entrepreneurs amongst us who are into the same business. And so to be able to be on top of the pack, to be able to be the preferred choice, then we need to do extra so that people will always be looking for us. And what does it take to be on top of the pack? As we have already discussed, first, you need to be an authority in that particular field. You need to be an authority in that particular field. For example, when they call people professors, what it means is that they are. The man is an authority in that field. He has full control. He knows. Nobody knows everything, but at least he's above, on top of the pack. He's an authority. When he talks as somebody who knows. He has the needed knowledge and expertise. And he himself can come out with theories or propositions, you see, for advancement of that area. So he is an authority in that field. That's what we should be striving for, to be an authority wherever we are. If we are carpenters, let us try to be an authority in carpentry. When people call us, they expect some quality from us. So it's very important, wherever we are, whether you're an accountant, they expect some quality. Don't just sit down and be a small accountant or small estate manager somewhere. You have a small establishment. So as an estate officer in that establishment, you'll not be doing so much. Be aiming at an organization where when you have become the estate manager, you will not be found wanting. So you've got to be an authority in your area of expertise or influence. So you need expertise. That's what we have already talked about. Expertise means you have knowledge, you have understanding, the required knowledge, the required understanding, you have the skill, and then you can deliver. You have the competence. So don't sleep. The world is changing fast, and there's so much competition. If you fall behind, then you are finished. Then, to be on top of the pack. Expertise also means building capacity. You have to look at yourself. Be fair to yourself. You need to add to yourself. You need to develop capacity. When after developing capacity, you need to be building upon that capacity. Because times are changing. Technology is changing. Ways of doing things are changing. And so you've got to be abreast of time so that you do not fall behind. You can be in the lead. I think, what is this? How do you call it? Oh, forgetting the name. I'll get it. Then definitely being an authority. We have talked about you must be an authority. When they call you, they know that you know what it takes. You are not found wanting. You see, that is, you are an authority. And when you are an authority, everybody will, you speak with confidence. You speak as somebody who knows what you are doing, what you are about. Even if you have made a mistake, they will know that, oh, this man is just a mistake. The man knows. The man has what it takes. He is good. As we normally say, he's good. It means that you are an authority. So we must be striving to be an authority. And being authority means that you do not have to give excuses when it comes to discharge of an assignment in your area. When you have been assigned something to do, you should not be found wanting. You see, you may not know it all, nobody knows it all, but you are an authority, and you know friends and colleagues who can support you in an area, and so you go in, you take the job, whatever it is, you take it as an authority. But there's an aspect you cannot do yourself, but you know colleagues, call them in, and then you do it together. That is how authorities work. That is how experts work. You cannot do everything by yourself. It is not possible. It is just not possible. Nobody does that. But once you have established the links, people know that you know. They want to get closer to you. They want to work with you. You have that network. You can always follow. That's what happens. And so you deliver. And when you are delivering beyond the requirements. Beyond the requirements. It is not going to be an average delivery. It's you are delivering. Your delivery should be beyond the requirements. Simple example that we always cite is that they invite you for an interview, you go to the interview, they ask you a question. It is your duty to expand, give whatever, tell them whatever you know. So Lord, you know. So don't allow them, don't give a one-off answer, straight answer, and sit down and expect that your interviewer will answer another question. He might not ask another question in that area, but you have the chance to let them know it. Then you know a lot. So tell them a lot till they stop you and ask another question. So you must deliver beyond the requirement. Yes, that's what it takes, to have a competitive edge in anything that we do. You must deliver beyond expectation. Then your client will say that, oh, this is what I asked him to do. Look at what, he has added to it. Oh, this man knows. That's what happens. And then, as we have already said, you must continually add value to yourself. Continually. Don't stop. The world is always on the move. The world is not stopping for anybody at any time. You must continually add value to yourself. Fisher, look around. What don't you know at this time? As far as your area of expertise is concerned, don't get involved. Some of these things, if you are into if you are into academics or whatever, academia or whatever, you can do a lot of things on the, maybe in corporate organizations, what we do. There are things you can learn by yourself on the internet. There are free lessons there that you can learn to add to yourself. Some are free, just free. And somebody says it to say, oh, this guy has this. You see, you broaden your base. You must broaden your base. Don't just be, how do I even put it? Yeah, just, you must broaden your base so that, oh, they can say, oh, he can even do this one. Oh, they can do this, so we don't even need this person to come in. He can do this and do this as well. This is all this one. So this is how the world is moving today. If you're an accountant, I think somebody cited this example the other time. If you're an accountant, try to add something. What else can you add to yourself as an accountant so that you become versatile? So that you don't have to depend so much on others to support you. As an accountant, they don't need to give you maybe a secretary in your office. You must know basic typing and you must have, control over, the English language. You understand? So you must know how to type well, you must know how to write letters from your office. You must know the little things. You must be concerned with the computer. You know, what software, is in the vogue. What software is in the market now? What people are relying on. Look for it. Learn it. If it will cost you something and you can afford it, pay for it and learn that software, acquire that software so that you can equip yourself. So that you can equip yourself. I think this is what is happening in the world now. Just don't be an accountant who will sit down even at this time. We want to open ledgers, book, physical. No, that one should be what? How do you call it? Should just support what you are doing. In case there's trouble, you can fall back on it. Maybe your electronic system fails, you can fall back on it. But it should be computer literate. You should know a lot of softwares that you can use in the accounting industry or insurance industry or whatever industry you have found yourself in, whatever business you are doing. If you are a carpenter, I always tell the carpenters who work here, we come here, we want something to be done quickly. I bet you, this big building, this modern time and age, become resource. You see, I said no. And that informs their pricing. When they quote for you, when they give you an invoice, they consider the number of days they are going to do the work. Meanwhile, a small portable kind of machine, you can just mount it on a small bench. We'll saw the wall for you, we just cut it. To the size that you want, to the measurement that you want. Wall is not an easy thing to solve. If you ask any carpenter, he will tell you, very, very difficult. And they can be just to divide one wall board, it can take them almost 30 minutes to do that. Meanwhile, with a small cutting machine, they just go to 5 seconds. They cut the wood 5 seconds. But we come here now, they are doing like this, they are doing like this, they are doing like this. Meanwhile, we want the job to be done quick. And their pricing is based on that. We are spending 3 weeks on that. Meanwhile, with a small portable machine, just 2 days will do that. You see, so you ask yourself, see what is involved, what is going on. How do you improve what you are doing and add it to what you have already acquired? You see, this is the situation. So if you don't continually add to yourself, you'll be lagging behind. Nobody will call you. I can call if I were maybe the single owner of this church. Let's say it's a factory. We are both there, and the owner of the factory. I will not call a company. I will come with a salt. You see, I will not call a company. I will come with salt. He's going to delay the work in the first place. He's going to charge me high. And it's likely that I might not get the needed result. You see, but if you have small machines, cut to precision. You see, cut to precision, cut to precision. You see, this is what is happening in the world today. So acquire something and add something to yourself. Then if you want to be on top of the pack, then you must be able to price your competitors out. Now you are an authority. We are in a competitive world. And so when you are pricing, you must be able to price well. You see, you must be able to price well so that you can beat the pack. We are only not talking about only knowledge acquisition. You see, one company wants a job from somebody to do. It could be consultancy in your area. So you should be able to know how to price out the others. That is also very, very important if you want to have a competitive edge. Now, in a bigger headline, we can say that you make all your clients and customers your evangelists. Make your clients and customers your evangelists. What do we mean by that? If you are making your clients or customers your evangelists, it means that your output is great. Your delivery is great. Your product is great. Your designs, if you are an engineer, in the design field, your designs are great. If you're an architect, your designs are superb, catchy. Your designs are catchy. You are innovative. You don't go and just copy somebody's building somewhere and give to another person. You are innovative. You are creative as an architect or a draftsman or whoever you are. It means that you are innovative. You see, so you have to come up with something that your customers or clients will always be chasing you for. Even if it's not for that particular thing, they know that you know what it is. They know that you can deliver. So that is very important. That's what I mean by your clients, your customers, you have to make them your evangelists. When they have an experience with you, an encounter with you, they go and sell it. They go and tell others. They recruit others for you. So you say that just because of one building you have designed as an architect, just because of one accounting audit that you did somewhere, your client is so satisfied he has recommended you to other companies. You see, just because of maybe a wardrobe or chair you have crafted us as a carpenter, everybody is looking for you to make such chairs for them. They are now your mouthpiece doing the evangelism. You see, so they become your evangelists, spreading the good news for you. It is your product. It is your delivery. It is what you have given up that is speaking for you. Very important that if your delivery is bad, if your product is bad, if they have bad experience with you, then you are finished. Then you are finished. It is said that what a customer might have a good experience from you 7 times, but just once he has had a bad experience from your outfit. I tell you, he forgets about all the good that you have done for him, all the good things he knew about you. Now, these people, they are no longer good. They used to be like this, but now no. The last time I went there, this is what they gave me. This is what they did. And so the bad news spreads much more quickly than the good news. So we need to be careful if we want to remain on top of the path. Then you must be able to give a good impression of yourself or about yourself. First impression, the way you look, your outlook, the way you dress, when you are meeting your clients or whatever, in a formal way, the way you look speaks, the way you dress speaks, the way you speak speaks for you. And so you must learn how to present yourself, how to present your office, so that people will always remember that office, so that people will always remember how you look. Very, very important. Then I also want to mention excellent communication skills. The way you present your message, the way you do your presentation. For example, you are doing a PowerPoint presentation. Then your slides are loaded. One slide, maybe 6 lines, 10 lines. They become so tiny. And upon that, you are reading. Sometimes with your back turn to the audience because you are reading. Because you are reading, you are looking on the screen. With your back turned to the audience. That is, I don't know how we're going to describe it. That's horrible presentation. Very, very horrible. Very horrible. You see, when you are doing a presentation, 3 lines in a slide, you know everything. You are not coming to read. You give the outline. Then you are coming to preach. You are not coming to read to your audience. You are coming to preach to them to know that you know the thing. Facing them. Only referring to maybe sketches or whatever that you might have. That is the way you do presentation. You don't do presentation and be reading. It's horrible. Or you turn your back to the audience. Horrible. You have failed already. Your audience will have a bad impression about you. It means that you are not top of the game. It's not coming from you. You are coming to read from a book for them to, That is very bad. They want somebody who has it in him so that he can always deliver. So let us be careful about these things. If you want to have a competitive edge over others, then we need business secrets, trade secrets. What makes you think? You have to keep it. You see, it's not that you are hiding knowledge from anybody, but when you are in a competition, you have to know how to keep things that move you about the path. You have to keep them secret. You see, very, very important. Up to today, no company is able to copy Coca-Cola correctly. No copy. Pepsi failed. Others come and fail. Others are coming. Small ones you see in Ghana, something called, they are not going to get the quality, the taste, of Coca-Cola. They are never going to get it. It's secret. Over 200 years, they are keeping it secret. You cannot get it. So don't speak too much when you know that you have competitors. Speak and leave certain things out so that they will be looking for you. That's what it is. You see, so you keep certain things within you. Yeah, do the delivery, do everything. But certain key things, you don't release them. They are your secret. They make you think, come, about the path. So business secrets, trade secrets, very, 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 very important. Then I just want to quickly, 2 minutes, touch on the biblical principles. I do not know which biblical principle for career success we can get is better than Matthew 25, 14 to 30. That is the calling of the disciple. Jesus calling the disciple. You see, he called one person, that person called another. But you know what the disciples did? They allowed themselves to be mentored by Jesus. So they were pushed and mentored. So they stayed with him. Let's get this thing well. They stayed with him. And so he mentored them. He infused knowledge, spiritual knowledge, into their life. The change that he wanted, he imparted into them gradually. It was a process. And at a certain stage, he wanted to see where they have gotten to. Then he sent them in twos to go. And he then see how they would fare. They came back jubilated because they were well coached. They were well mentored. So, if the biblical principle is that you submit, you make yourself coachable. You have to be mentored in life. Don't think that you know it all. We discussed this thing in the first part. There are people who are ahead of you already. Try to associate yourself with them so that they can impart knowledge, expertise to you, so that you can build yourself up. Don't be after money. Don't be overzealous for money, and you forget that people are ahead of you and they know much better than you know. Accept that there are others who know more than you know, so that you associate yourself with them and get coached, get mentored. It's then that you can further build yourself. Very, very important. So that's what the disciples did. And they became masters. When Jesus left, it was wonderful. You saw the work they did. That is the reason you and I are here today. Because they allowed themselves to be mentored. They allowed themselves space to learn. They had attached themselves to Jesus. They were loyal to him, focused on what they were doing. They were not after money. The one who was after money, fell out. That's what happens. If you are in unemployment, you are just looking for money without taking time to learn the nitty-gritty of the work, there will be a time when you fall out. When others will move ahead of you. The one who was looking for money among the apostles fell out. Is that not correct? He fell out. The money took him out. You see, he could have stayed and he would have earned more money. Spiritual money that lasts. You see, you have been catered for by people. Was he hungry? People have catered for him. You see, but he was just after money. That's what we do when we enter employment. We are looking for money. So some go to the extent of maybe going behind the scene, the unbeliever, to kill, to destroy those who are ahead of you so that they can take their position. They're just looking for money without having the capacity that the senior man has. They don't have it, but they want to remove him because they feel that that position he's making some money. You will be found out. A time of reckoning will come. Everybody will know that you don't know what it takes to hold that position and to keep that position. You see, and I have to talk about what I term cross-departmental knowledge acquisition. If you work in a big employment organization, there are department divisions. Not just sit in your office and then mind your own business in only that department. Get to know what others do. Get acquainted. Get some experience. It is not your major area, yes, but get to know what they do. It adds to you. For example, in where I work, now I've retired. Where I work, we have 6 or 7 departments. So we have coastal engineering department, we have drainage department, we have sewage department, sewage engineering department, we have hydrology department, we have quantity surveying department, we have some other department. So you just humble yourself. I went in, I decided to learn at the feet of the masters. The laborers who were there before I went, they knew more than I knew. So I had to go with them. They knew the survey work because they had associated themselves with the surveyors all over the years. So you go to the field with them, and you don't show that you are the boss in the field. Learn, humble yourself and learn from the laborers. They are going to teach you. They are going to teach you. So we will go to the field, and then I'll be holding the tape for you. We'll be doing the taping. Then somebody will be on the mic, and they'll take it the levels and all that. But I was learning. In no time, I got to know how to do service. I can do cadastral service. I can do engineering service. And I started doing it by myself. I learned from these laborers. I learned from these low-key people. I learned from the sewage department, for which reason, once I became the head of sewage department. I learned from drainage department, for which reason I became the head of drainage department until my retirement. I learned from hydrology, for which reason I was posted to be the director of hydrology in our Ashanti regional office. I was once a time the quantity surveyor The quantity surveyor was not available for a while. And because I associated myself with the quantities department, I learned quantity surveying. I know all about quantity surveying and contract packaging and contract management. So I had to take that responsibility to do the quantities, prepare bill of queues and all that, package and for award. When you do all these things, you are just making yourself almost indispensable. Nobody is indispensable anyway. But you're making yourself indispensable. It's like they cannot do away with you. On returning, you see me still driving GV. That's what I bring to. Is that not? I still drive the GV. Why? People ask me, when you see you're returning, you are driving GV? I say yes. Because they still call me. They have assignment for me, I go to perform for them. The office. I still work for them. Though I don't go to office every day. And so they decided to leave the car for me. So that, because I still work for them. You see, they still need me. Are you getting it? This is how you make yourself. You entrench yourself. You make yourself almost indispensable. Are we getting the understanding? So you learn cross-departmental knowledge acquisition. Don't just sit in your department, not knowing what happens in other departments. Learn about administration, how letters are written, how letters are cashed, how letters are registered. Learn all that, so that when the time comes you have to write a letter, you don't write some Yama letter. You see, you know how to do these things and do them well. So learn from others, learn from other divisions, learn from your colleagues. You are adding to yourself. I think I want to end here and take questions. And also we know that for biblical principles, you've got to be faithful. You have to be honest. You have to be a person of integrity, reliable. And one example that I will add to the recruitment of the disciples is the talents. Remember, Jesus, the parable of the talents, one person was given 5, another person was given 2, another person 1. What Jesus was talking about was investment. Spiritual investment and also physical investment. Whatever is given to you, expand it. Expand your knowledge base. Expand your expertise. Expand whatever you have now. Don't sit on it and then you will remain at that level. Jesus told him, the last person who did not invest the money, he said, but if you should have invested this money, put this money at the bank for me so that it will earn some interest. But you refuse to even put it at the bank for me. He's talking about investment. Whatever you are spending today is not available for investment. So we must be very careful to be able to invest. Invest in knowledge. Hallelujah. All these things will add to us. Very, very crucial. Hallelujah.
Amen. Thank you very much, Mr. Kudzordzi. We are super excited. It's time for questions. Please put your hands together. Put your hands together. We can put your hands in questions. I believe we have a lot on our minds. So we want to take a very few minutes to get these questions answered for us. So please, I want to count the number of those who have questions. Please, if you have questions, please, I want to see your hand. Okay, we have 1, 2. Okay, so we have 2 questions. Alright, so please, when I give you the microphone, you tell us your name and your question.
Thank you for the opportunity. I would like to ask a question concerning my work. A few challenges I face. I'm a surveyor and I do private work. Challenges I face is getting clientele. I struggle to get clientele sometimes. What's nuggets or advice would you give me getting jobs,
Hallelujah. That's a good question. What you need to do is that first, excuse me to say, have you ever worked in some organization? For how long? You're still working in that organization. It's a big organization. It's a small thing. You know what happens is this. This is why those who work in the government sector, the salary is small like this. But what happens is that you get exposure. You get opportunity to meet a lot of people. A lot of people. So then you serve yourself. At those meetings, when you have meetings, whatever, workshops and so on, you meet a lot of these people. They get to know that you are supported. They get to know that, oh, you are working in this organization or you are working on this project. Then you link up. And then before you hear the job starts coming. The problem you have now is that because the organization is small, you don't have the exposure. People right now, you are not well known. I reckon. With a company, with an organization, which has that large clientele in the area of service, you need to link up with police, surveyors. They are there. And then what happens is that they will be inviting you when they get contracts. Then you work with them. They might not be giving you a contract to do yourself initially, but you will be working as a team, as a group. And eventually, the clients will get to know you. People will get to know you. That's when they begin to call you. And so that is what the connection. You have to link up with others in your field. You have to get connected to bigger institutions. Just walk in there. Oh, who is the surveyor? Oh, I'm so and so. Sometimes when contracts come, when projects come, they are looking for CVs of other people to put together so that they can win that contract. Then you pick out your CV with your CV. The contract quits. Then you are done. We do the first project, big project. Then that's all. Then we are open. That's how we all did it. That's how it is done. Are you? Yes, sir, brother.
I think I want to add a very small comment to what Daddy has said. What my question is now. I would like to add that I don't know what his target is, whether you intend to go solo or be attached to the organization. What is your intention? Eventually solo. Now, why not go eventually solo? There is something you say, business of brand development and its creation. You should begin now. Start putting yourself at a location. Create a business name. Create a logo. Start creating questions on both sides. Let them ask, what is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this? You can begin with your own social media platform. Get the logo down for you. Get your own talent. Start putting it out. People will start asking. The other thing is that get attached, like Daddy said, get attached to those people that need the services, the real estate development. Go to them, market yourself there. Tell them you are available for this. Probably at a discounted fee for now than the pros are taking. If people are taking 1,000, you can render your service for 700 or 750, maybe for a day or whatever it is. Once you start putting yourself at that specific location, you'll begin to indulge you because research has shown that we like cheap things, quote and unquote. But whatever is not cheap, you are actually developing your brand because you get to a point where you now have to come to the table with your price to discuss with what you do. So if you ask me, I would say with all that he has said, begin a personal brand creation and development process. Thank you.
Welcome. Thank you very much. Because of time, we are taking only one last question and then we are done. So I'm coming to.
Thank you. My name is Samson. I want to ask, let's say for my work, I'm a TO, transport officer. At the time, when the drivers are short, I go control on myself. And due to that, since that the women that I'm working with, they felt that I'm also taking part of their work and they are becoming retreat between us. What can I do about that one too? Because I go on straight with them. I'm a field transport officer. When the drivers are not in house, I go on road with them. I also go on trips, how they work. So because of that, I've seen so many things that have been going on. So they are becoming a trade between us. You've been seeing our secrets and knowledge. So we are becoming something serious. That's why we have for you because we all need to learn things around ourselves. And through the university, it's not giving a chance to do whatever you want to do. How can I help you?
Thank you. This is a good question. It happens. It happens all over the place. You know, junior staff will not want senior staff or their director to go on trek with them because they are small tricks. You see, so it happens. For example, when they are going on trek, I will answer your question. They are going on trek. They demand, let's say, 2,000 cities worth of fuel. They will go and come. Then they say, oh, they couldn't reach. Then next time they want 2,500. But the day that director will say, oh, let's go on this trek together. So let's go. Then they are shivering. Because at the end of the day, they know that director will realize that it costs only 1,000 galaxies to make that trip and back. Then it becomes a problem. That's the problem, the challenge you are having. You are getting to know the little tricks that they do to earn extra illegal money. That's why they will not like you. Well, I will say that it depends on your position. Is it a case as transport? Then, okay, let me put it this way. If you are the transport officer, then definitely now you know the truth. Then you get to know the tricks that they were doing. Now you have to streamline things. But what you need to do from the beginning is that you need to negotiate something with them. This thing is not like this. This thing is not like this. But for now, this is what I will do for you. So you make some small provision, which is not illegal. You make some small provision for them. Sometimes what happens is this. If you give them night allowance or TNT, let's say 200 Ghana cedis, where will you get accommodation this day, today? Where they go and sleep and pay 200 Ghana cedis? It's difficult. You see, it's very, very difficult. And let alone having something left for them to eat. It's very difficult. Sometimes some of these things lead to what they are doing. And so find a way to resolve that. Then you tell the Lord, this is the thing. But what I will allow, which is allowed in a lot of organizations, government institutions, because the rate is so small, I will allow 1 or 2 extra days for you to have this kind on the track. But I cannot increase your fuel coupon. Do you understand? Because at the end of the day, everybody knows that this is a new vehicle. And if it is or whatever it is, it will consume about 40 a liter, 40 kilometers or so. That's a new vehicle. A gallon. 1 gallon covering 40 kilometers. And so it's workable. Everybody can see that. But I want to help you. This is the thing. It's done in almost every government institution. The government will not want to increase the rates. So the director will say, okay, you go. You are supposed to spend 2 days, but I'll give you 3 days so that you can have something in your pocket to pay for your hotel accommodations. It's not illegal. That's the only way to protect the people. So look at their situation and try to resolve it in a very careful way so that you will not become their enemy. Perhaps it's because they are suffering. You see, they are not being given enough allowance to get out of the trip. So we need to resolve that. What is leading to
Thank you very much. Please, yes. Wow. Amazing, guys. We are so grateful for the presentation. It's been so educational, and we trust that we will put the things we have learned to work. Please, as our expectations be met, so the good news is that we have recorded it, so you can simply go in if you want to listen to it again.